Hello and welcome to today's video. I wanted to film a video today and I was actually editing my February TBR, but then I feel like I haven't really done many different types of videos recently, so I am going to be doing a tag today, and it is going to be the on my shelf tag. Since I didn't ask anyone for numbers or anything, I have dice here to get the coordinates from my shelf. Okay, so how it's gonna work, I have a D12 and this is going to be for what shelf, and then I have a D20 to figure out what book it is on the shelf, but since I have more than 20 on some shelf, I have a D8 to add to this one. So yeah, so nerdy. Okay. So a shelf 6 and a book 14. This is the first book in a trilogy. I haven't read the second and third book yet. I've only read this one. I did enjoy it. It's kind of gruesome and kind of weird. It's about Juliet and it's like a historical fantasy, which I didn't know when I started reading it, but it is. And she travels to an island to find her dad, and he does creepy, crazy experiments on animals. And funny story, I lent this to my mom so she could read it, but apparently she has a reoccurring nightmare very similar to this book, so she didn't finish this book and she was kind of annoyed, I guess, by it because it creeped her out. My next coordinate, shelf 5 and book 10. Shelf 5, book 10 has cats. Behavior breeds health and grooming, and I got this for Christmas. Not this Christmas, I got it last Christmas. We did a gift exchange at my old work and Ian got me this one because he knows I love cats and he likes cats too. And this book is actually has a lot in there. There's different types of cats and it goes through their fur type, what kind of weather they prefer, a description, their temperament, and if they need to be groomed and how often they should be groomed. Yep, it has caring for kittens, caring for a pregnant cat, but I bookmarked one page here because it made me laugh. There's this picture of a lady holding an orange cat, and I had Reginald, which he now lives with my parents. But before I had Reginald, I had another orange cat called Mango, and this was just perfect. It said, "Always fully support the weight of an adult cat and hold him firmly if you don't want him to escape." Shelf 12 and book 5. Since I only have 11 shelves, I guess this would count as shelf 1. I have The Lord of the Rings Part 3, The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. And this is the movie cover. This book is really light, probably because the pages are pretty thick. But it's pretty light. I don't think I've actually read the whole series. I've watched the movies a ton of times, but I think I've only read the first book or like half of the first book. I really don't remember because every time I start the first book, I've read the beginning so many times. The 8th shelf and the 8th book is my next target. So the 8th book on the 8th shelf is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and I've talked about this book a lot when I first started BookTube, so like a year ago when I read it. And I really enjoyed this book when I read it. The movie I didn't really like that much, probably because I watched the movie the same day I finished this book. But I really did enjoy it a lot. He was recruited by the government to help defeat the aliens, so he has to go to battle school and he has to prove himself to be a genius among geniuses. So second shelf and 16th book. The second shelf is like my Harry Potter and adult fiction fantasy, and yeah, so I have here Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I have read this one a lot and I've watched the movie a lot. So when my siblings and I were younger, my mom would read these books to us, and I was pretty young so I don't really remember that well, but my sister would remember more. But yes, I read this series in elementary school and middle school, and I'm still reading the books. I still reread them often, like every year I reread a couple books, and last year I reread 1 to 3, so this year I'm going to continue on and start number 4 and probably read a couple books, or maybe finish the series this year. Again, only a couple more. 7 and 14. This one I grabbed is Rebel Angels by Libba Bray, and this is a book 2 to, what is it called? A Great and Terrible Beauty, and I read that one Halloween, I believe, in October, and this is the second one. I wasn't going to get it, but then I found it at a used bookstore for $5, and I thought that was pretty good, and I did enjoy the first one, so I will read this one. I'm just not sure when I'm going to get around to it. Next book. 6 and 21. This is about a girl, Mira, and she fights for her kingdom to bring it back. And yeah, there's magic in it, there's kingdoms, there's fighting, there's love. There's kind of a love triangle if you don't like love triangles, but it's not really that big a deal. So I enjoyed this one. It's fun, there's plot twists, it's exciting, there's some slow parts like every book, but overall it's pretty good. Shelf 10, I rolled a natural 20 on my d20. Yeah, so if I was playing D&D right now, that's really good. So hopefully it's a good book that it picks out. Anyways, 10th shelf, 22nd book. The 22nd book on my shelf isn't actually one I own. It's a library book that I'm taking to the library today so I can pick up another one. But I just finished it and I don't know if I'm gonna film a review on it yet. I don't think so, but it will be in my monthly wrap-up at the end of February. And the book is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. If you want to see a review on this, let me know. I just read it. The beginning, it took me a while to get into. I think like at 100 pages I started to like get more into it. It was kind of confusing at first, the names of the spaceships and the names of everyone. I just could not remember who was who, what was what. I couldn't remember anything. But once I got more into it, it was a lot easier to read. The style of this book is pretty funky. It's all through like emails and documents and stuff. This part was interesting. A casualty list. But yeah. And then it's funny, all these swear words are blacked out there, so it's kind of funny. I did enjoy this one. It is about Katie and Ezra. They break up, and the day they break up, there is like this huge war and their planet's destroyed and they have to escape on these spaceships and they're being chased by another spaceship, and yeah, it's crazy. A new thing that I've discovered in my pregnancy is heartburn, and I've never really had heartburn before. And when I was reading this, one night I had heartburn so bad and I couldn't sleep because every time I lied down, I felt like I was gonna throw up because it felt like it was coming out. And I didn't have Tums. I finally have Tums now, but for the longest time I didn't have Tums. And so I couldn't sleep, so I just sat on the couch, or sat on the chair, and read this book. And I read 250 pages, and I finished it. It was pretty amazing. So, yeah, that's my story. And that was my last book. So this is the second time I've actually filmed this video, so hopefully it works out. Hopefully I'm in focus. The last time I filmed it I think was like 3 months ago. I never edited it and never put it up. I think I lost it somewhere. There were a few videos that I lost actually. This weekend I have a baby shower, and I guess I'll show you some stuff that Alex and I have the baby and how we have it organized. Yeah. So that won't be now, that'll be in like this weekend or sometime next week when I have time to edit that video. And so my mom called me and said that I haven't shown my belly in my last video, and I should probably do that. So I will show you my belly. So yes, thank you for watching. Have a good day.